The spread of diseases. Fun stuff going on right here. Now, Europeans, when they're going to be going to these new lands, are going to bring diseases with them, primarily because the people they're now interacting with, the locals, the natives of that region, have not been exposed to the diseases that are going on in Europe. And this is going to allow them to easily conquer and take over those lands. This is particularly the case when it comes to North and South America, and this is actually going to be used by these Europeans or the Americans to actually help them defeat these individuals they're fighting against. So diseases are going to come with the Europeans and allowing them to easily take over. Now, they're going to get these diseases in the new area as well. So not only are they bringing diseases with them, they're also getting new diseases as they go there. They've not really been exposed to because those diseases were not yet in Europe or in the United States. Now, this is going to be problematic because it's going to cause death in a number of cases. And if you're not dying, you're incredibly sick, which is making it harder for you to go out to conquer new lands, to explore new things, to really start new businesses, start trading, all this other stuff. You can't really be a very good missionary when you're about to die. So this is going to be causing a lot of problems as well. And this is going to lead to the creation of hospitals. These countries that are establishing colonies in Africa, India, parts of the Middle East, and then out in Asia, and then the New World as well, they're realizing that if we don't get a hospital out here soon, all of our people are going to die. No one else is going to want to move out here. We've got to create these hospitals. There's going to be some good and bad along with creating hospitals. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in class as well. Now, the first disease we are going to talk about is the lovely yellow fever. And this disease, like the vast majority of them, is going to be spread by mosquitoes. Those lovely little pests, which are tiny, fly in you, bite you, and then it hurts and itches for a very long time. Just looking at that picture brings me to just want to scratch myself because I itch just looking at those dastardly mosquitoes right there. The symptoms of yellow fever are very similar to the flu and malaria in most cases. The vast majority of the time, if you get yellow fever, you will actually live. The disease will simply disappear and you don't die. So that's good. However, in 20% of the cases, it's going to cause jaundice, which is what makes your skin turn yellow, hence the name yellow fever. You're going to start convulsing. You're going to be bleeding out of orifices in your body. Orifices, that was a good word to use. And then it leads to a coma and death. So fun. Not a good way to go out. So yellow fever is going to be happening as well. Next, we're going to be talking about malaria. Just to remind you, every 45 seconds, a child dies of malaria. Sadly, malaria is not a disease that has been eradicated. All of these really haven't been eradicated for the most part. But malaria is still very prevalent and common in certain parts of the world. Malaria is simply Italian for bad air. Originally, is what happened with malaria is they believed that the air was bad and that is what was causing the disease. They didn't know that it was spread by mosquitoes. So the Italians, Malaria, which is simply bad air. This bad air is getting us sick. In reality, it was spread by mosquitoes or by birth. So if a child is born to a mother who has malaria, that child will also have malaria. Mosquitoes will spread it, so you can get it either by being born to someone who has malaria or bitten by a mosquito that is a carrier of malaria. Symptoms of malaria are shaking and chills. You're going to have a fever, you're going to be sweating, you're going to have intense diarrhea, and you're going to be vomiting. So it's going to be coming out of both ends as you're sweating with the fever, shaking, and feeling incredibly cold. Not a fun way to go out. Next, we're going to be talking about sleeping sickness. Sleeping sickness is caused by parasites that are transmitted by the bite of this lovely, disgusting fly. So this fly goes and it bites you. This fly has parasites living inside of it that are going to cause the disease known as sleeping sickness. Now, sleeping sickness comes in a couple of different stages. The first stage is going to simply cause headache, cause you to have a fever, and your organs are going to be sore. So you're just going to kind of feel down and out. Your head is going to hurt, and you're going to be having a fever. Then's where it really gets fun, sarcasm included. In the second stage, you're going to have changes in your personality, you're going to have problems with your movement, and you're going to have intense sleeping periods. Like you're going to be sleeping for 16, 17 hours a day. You just physically cannot stay awake. During the first stage, you really don't sleep at all, and then you're just so exhausted, all you really do during the second stage is sleep, and then you go to sleep and don't wake up. Sleep till death, okay? Again, not a pleasant way to go out. Going to be spread by the parasites in this fly. Lastly, we're going to be talking about smallpox. Smallpox is the one that was actually used by the Americans, probably some others, but I know by the Americans to fight against the people they were going against. Smallpox is not prevalent in the New World. Okay, previously, it had been everywhere on Earth. In Europe, the disease originated there. Europeans either got it and died or got it and survived and thus became immune to it, passing that down to their descendants. So it's not prevalent in the New World because they've not had ever any access and interaction with the disease of smallpox. This is going to lead to the death of millions of Native Americans and millions, and I'll go into that in just a little bit. The symptoms of this are going to be like the flu. It's going to have blisters covering your entire body, as you can see in this picture right here. They're going to be covered in pus, okay? Cover, it should be not cover instead of cove. You're going to have this pus-covered blisters all over your body. It's going to cause the death of millions of Native Americans. Now, is what the United States is going to do when they're trying to get rid of the Americans, or the Native Americans, as part of their manifest destiny, going from sea to shining sea, are actually going to give blankets to the Native Americans that are covered in the smallpox disease. They don't know that. It's cold winter. They're going to put these blankets on, and soon everyone is dying of smallpox. This was disease warfare the United States used against the Native Americans to try to get rid of them, and it was incredibly effective. The morality of that is something totally different that we will discuss in class. Questions, comments, put them down below. Otherwise, see you later. Good luck.